The teacher appears when the student is ready. Greetings, beautiful soul, and welcome to my channel, The Optimist Hub. My name is Yanga, and today's video, let's talk a bit about that. Now, I think oftentimes in a couple of videos, I've actually mentioned that we are teachers and students of each other. By we, I'm referring to us as humans. I'm referring to anything and everything that is a creation of the higher power, right? We are all teachers and students of each other. And we all really cross paths because one, we are meant to cross paths, and two, because there is a lesson to be learned and there is a lesson to be taught. Now, each and every one of us play the role of a teacher or a student in each and every one's life. Now, you could find yourself playing both roles, where you are both the teacher and the student in one person's life or in a specific situation that does not necessarily involve any sort of human interaction. However, we do find ourselves being in that position where a certain situation teaches you certain things. And I often believe that a situation or a circumstance or a lesson or the teacher will never come at a time where you are not ready to receive the lesson. Now, the question is, how do you know you are ready to receive the lesson? Well, when the lesson presents itself. And the lesson presents itself through the teacher. Whoever is assigned to you by the higher power, by the universe, right? Whatever is assigned to you, be it a situation or circumstance, that is the teacher. And so in the role of being a learner, we ought to always surrender to the process of learning. And the process of learning really requires us to let go of what we know so that we can make space and make room for that which we do not know. Because for us to grow, right? In order for us to grow, we need to surrender to the process of learning. And that process entails the process of unbecoming that which we have known, to let go of old patterns, of old thoughts, of self-limiting beliefs that are hindering us from progression, right? So that we can make room for our new becoming. Each and every lesson that presents itself presents the opportunity of becoming the best version of ourselves. Never the worst. Never the worst. Truly, I believe that each and every lesson that comes into our lives, yes, may expose not the so good parts of ourselves or the not so good characteristics or qualities of ourselves, but truly and honestly, it is to unearth the good. It is to unearth the best version of ourselves. And the best way to get to that point of becoming the best version of ourselves, we ought to surrender to the process of becoming. We ought to unlearn the old patterns that are self-limiting, that are hindering us from becoming that best version of ourselves. Now, truly and honestly, whatever it is that you seek, whatever it is that you yearn for, whatever it is that you long for, whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire, it also needs you. It also wants you. And so the future version of yourself that is longing, that is desiring, that is, having this vision, this idea, this dream, whatever it is that you hold so close and dear to your heart and your soul, is what you are meant to become. And so the process of becoming needs you to unbecome, right? The process of becoming needs you to unbecome the version of yourself that is self-limiting so that you can welcome the version of self that is full of abundance, that is expectant of good and great things because you are worthy and deserving. Truly and honestly, whatever it is that your future self longs for and desires, whatever it is that you're truly just like, oh my God, I really want this. That's because your future self already has this. This is why you are called to this thing that you want. This is why there is a pull towards this thing that you want. This is why there is something that's drawing you towards this thing that you want, because your future self already has it. Now, this version of self needs to surrender to the process of becoming and become the student and a learner, and learn that in each lesson, in each circumstance, in each situation that life throws at you, right? It is for your betterment. Yes, when the going gets tough, it's not so cute. When the going gets tough, it's not so nice, right? And I remember saying this in one of my TikTok videos. Everything is working out for your good. Everything is working out for your good. Sometimes, even when something is working out for your good, it will not always feel nice. It won't feel so glamorous and fluffy and sparkles and rainbows. It's not always going to feel like that, right? But do trust and know that each and every circumstance, situation is a lesson for your betterment. Even though it may not be as palatable, even though it may not be as favorable, it is for your betterment. Right? Hold on to that. Know that, yes, I'm going through a season that might be like winter or autumn, where I'm being called to shed off, to let go of the leaves or of the old patterns, of the old thinking patterns and behaviors that are hindering me from becoming the best version of myself. I'm being called to be in a season where I am just vulnerable and naked and just undress myself off of the things that have been holding me back, so that I can make room for new things, right? And so whichever season that you find yourself in, do know this, it is transitional. It is not a forever thing. Its purpose is just for transition. It is a phase. It's not a forever thing. It's just a lesson. And once you have learned the lesson, right? Because one thing about the universe is, when you are ready, when the student is ready, you being the student, it will bring forth the people that are meant to teach you the lesson or the situation or the circumstance, right? It will bring forth that. You surrender to the process of unbecoming so that you can become the best version of yourself by surrendering into the process itself, by letting the process uncover, by letting the process take place, right? Then, once you have reached the point of learning the lesson, the teacher disappears. Because there's no need for that. But this is what the universe will do. You will be tested on the lesson. There's always a test. You learn and you're tested on it. So a similar situation, a similar circumstance, same person or people or whatever it is will come, similar, right? Will come, same lesson. And the universe tests you to see if you actually remember the lesson that was learned. And so it is very important to remember the lesson. Otherwise, the cycle repeats itself. Right? And so surrender to the process of learning. Surrender to the process of unbecoming so that you can become the best version of yourself. And once you find yourself tested in a similar situation, now you know, based on the lesson that you've learned, how to navigate your way out of it and through it. Because truly the only best way to get through it is to go through it. The only best way to get over a test is to go through a test. The trials and tribulations that are necessary for your own character and soul development. Yes, in the moment it might feel so painful to the flesh, so painful to the mind, so painful to the soul, but truly and honestly believe and know that this is for the betterment of your soul's advancement. We are all here to learn. And the beautiful thing about this whole life journey is, one, we don't even know when it ends, right? But it's in the living, the unfolding, the unbecoming, the becoming, the learning, the tests, the tribulations, the struggles, and not always struggles. There's some joys and moments of happiness that also life presents us. Truly and honestly, that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. But again, even in the joys, even in the moments of bliss and happiness, those are lessons as well that pull us back into the present moment. And the present moment truly is the now. The now. Because that is the moment that exists. The past no longer exists anymore. The future really is just a thought, an idea. But life really is just a continuous cycle of the present moment. And so pull yourself towards yourself in this moment. Immerse yourself in the process that is life and the lessons that which life presents to you. And believe that indeed, yes, all things are working out for my good, even though they may not seem as glamorous. They may not feel as good all the time. But truly and honestly, it is for your betterment. And with that said, beautiful soul, may goodness and grace lead you to greater heights of success. Namaste.